Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. Good morning, my family in Christ. How are you doing today? Is everything right? Another brand new Sunday has just begun. Today is Palm Sunday. What is the meaning of palm? Palm, this is because people welcomed Jesus on the day that Jesus entered Jerusalem, and they welcomed him as a king, but not as the king that Jesus was, but an earthly king. But today we are going to reflect upon the last moments of Jesus on earth. Yeah, the time of Jesus's glorification was near. I wouldn't say Jesus' crucifixion, but Jesus' glorification. And we are going to reflect upon the Gospel according to Luke, the 22nd chapter from verses 14 to 71, and the whole 23rd chapter from 1 to 56 along the one. And I'm going to try to remember the main points in this passage. Yeah, Luke is a evangelist who didn't live with Jesus. He was not one of the 12. And we are going to reflect upon the last, I would say, 20 hours of the earthly life of Jesus, from the Last Supper until his burial. So Jesus was willing to have a meal with his disciples, the last meal. So they got together during the Last Supper, the day before Jesus' trial, and there a lot of things happened. Like Jesus took the bread and took the wine and said to them, "Do it in memory of me. This is my body. This is my blood. And whoever eats my flesh, whoever drinks my blood will have eternal life." Jesus also said about one of the disciples being the betrayer of Jesus. They wanted to know who was supposed to be. And also argument rose among them, saying, like they were arguing who among them was the greatest. And Jesus said, whoever wants to be great must be the servant of all. And also Jesus said to them, remember when I sent to you to proclaim the good news, and I told you that you were not supposed to take money bag or sandals or extra tunic. You remember, now is different. Now the time are coming when you have to, if you have a money bag, take it, and if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. And they had 2 swords, and Jesus said, okay, it is enough. So after that, Jesus went to the Mount of Olives as usual. Jesus would retreat himself and would go to pray, to have this connection with the Father. And also his disciples went with him. And there Jesus gave them instructions to pray so they might not fall into temptation. And Jesus left them and went alone to pray to the Father, and they stayed there, but they fell asleep. But Jesus said to them, yeah, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, so stay alert. Oh, okay, I was forgetting to tell you about Jesus. Jesus was distressed. Jesus asked the Father to take up from him this cup, but not the will of Jesus would be done, but God's will. And even Jesus sweated drops of blood. So great was his affliction. And while they were there, a group of people came, a group of Jewish people with torches, with swords, with clubs, and they came to arrest Jesus. Ahead of them was, guess who? Yeah, Judas Iscariot. He was the betrayer. He kissed Jesus, and Jesus said to him, "Are you betraying me with a kiss?" And also Jesus asked them, you come with clubs and swords, to arrest a robber, and then they arrested Jesus, and they took Jesus to the house of a chief priest, and there they accused Jesus of being against the law, accused also him to say that he was God, and they took a counsel with the Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin was a Jewish council, so they took Jesus there to ask him if he was the Son of God. And Jesus said, "You will see the Son of Man with the Father and the angels going up and down on him." And then they said, "Now we have grounds to accuse him." So they took Jesus to Pilate. Remember, Pilate was the ruler, and Pilate, they wanted to find something to accuse Jesus. So they said to Pilate that Jesus was inciting a rebellion. Jesus was inciting people not to pay the taxes, and also that Jesus was saying that he was Messiah. But Pilate didn't know what Messiah meant, so they said he said that he's a king. And Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you a king?" And Jesus replied, "You said so." And Pilate didn't find any grounds to accuse him. Pilate asked Jesus if he was a Galilean, and when he found out that Jesus was a Galilean, he sent Jesus to Herod, and Herod was really happy. Herod was in Jerusalem at that time, and Herod was really happy to meet Jesus because he wanted Jesus to perform a miracle. When he saw Jesus, he asked Jesus for something special, but Jesus didn't do that. He sent Jesus back to Pilate. This time Pilate again didn't find any grounds to accuse Jesus, so he washed his hands and said to them, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a punishment. Let's flog him. Let's give him some flogging, and then you can release him." But the people were adamant. People were trying to kill Jesus at all costs. So they said, "We have a law that says that we can release you one criminal on this day, so release Barabbas." Barabbas was a criminal, a rioter. He was also a killer. Pilate released Barabbas instead of Jesus. They were shouting, "Crucify him, crucify him," when Pilate had asked them, "Do you want me to release your king?" And then, "No, crucify him." The same people who welcomed Jesus on Palm Sunday, on the day when Jesus entered Jerusalem, were the same people who were asking, "Crucify him, crucify him." And then Jesus took the cross, the same cross that Jesus is asking us to pick up daily. There was this man from Cyrene. His name was Simon Cyrenian. He was there, and he was obliged to take up the cross of Jesus and to help Jesus to carry the cross. So a group of women, we see that only in Luke we can find, because Luke was a disciple of Jesus who would emphasize the woman role in the time of Jesus. So Luke wrote that there was a group of women. They were crying, weeping behind Jesus, and Jesus said to them, "Do not cry for me, but cry for yourselves and for your children, because times are coming where people will say, 'Blessed are the barren, blessed are the womb that never bore, and blessed are the breasts that never nursed.' And you will ask to the mountains to fall upon you, and to the hills to cover you." Yeah, Jesus was prophesying something really bad that would happen to the people. When they came to the place called Golgotha, the Mount of Skull, they crucified Jesus, and on the cross, over the head of Jesus, there is a inscription, the King of Jews. Also, two criminals were crucified, one on the left of Jesus and another one on the right of Jesus. People were mocking Jesus. The soldiers were mocking Jesus, offering him vinegar and wine, and also saying, "If you are the Son of God, save yourself." Also, one of the criminals was cursing Jesus, say, if you are the Son of God, save yourself. And the other one was saying, "Are you not afraid of your condemnation? Because we are here, we are paying for the crimes that we committed." But this man, he didn't commit any capital crime. There was no grounds for a capital crime, as Pilate had said. This man is an innocent man. And he asked Jesus, "Master, remember me in your kingdom." And Jesus said to him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." See, this man found his salvation at the last moment of his life. And there was this darkness from noon to 3 in the afternoon, because there was a solar eclipse, and the veil of the temple was torn into earthquake, a lot of dead people coming back to life, and people were terrified. They were beating their breasts, and one of the soldiers said, "Truly he was a righteous man." And Jesus said to the Father, "Forgive them, because they don't know what they are doing." Jesus, even on the cross, he forgave those who crucified him. And Jesus, looking up to heaven, said to the Father, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." And Jesus breathed his last. After Jesus being crucified was the day of preparation, so the following day was a Sabbath, so it was necessary to take up the bodies from the cross. They broke the legs of the two criminals, but none of the bones of Jesus was broken, to fulfill the prophecy. And this man called Joseph from Arimathea, he was one of the members of the Jewish council, the Sanhedrin, and he asked for the body of Jesus. He didn't agree with the decision of the Sanhedrin, and he asked for the body, and he buried Jesus in a grave that nobody had been buried before, in a cave. And he wrapped the body of Jesus. He prepared the body of Jesus with a lot of expensive products, oils. And when the woman saw the body of Jesus, they decided to prepare something for the body of Jesus. So they left the place, and we know that this is the end of our reflection, but we know that there will be a happily ever after, because Jesus conquered death. He will rise on the third day. But yeah, today let's reflect upon the death, burial of Jesus, his rejection, his betrayal, his denial. Jesus had said that Peter would deny him 3 times before the cock crows. And we see the denial of Peter, we see the betrayal of Judas, we see the mocking of people, the suffering of Jesus, his forgiveness towards those who crucified him. We see his affliction. We see Jesus in flesh, truly man. And Jesus was about to become truly God as well on the third day. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Remember, all things are possible with God. May God bless you all.